with political columnist and Fox News contributor Tammy Bruce. And Tammy, it's always a pleasure to talk with you and see you. Thanks for joining us this morning.
Thanks for having me on. What a pro you are, too. It's so great to watch you work and sit here at this table.
Thank you, Tammy. He said he's not taking anything off the table.
I know. Look, I understand the attraction to Mr. Trump, but when he won't take off nuking Europe, it makes you, it gets you troubled. It really becomes a problem. And I think that for all the people who are attracted to him, I understand it, I'm Tea Party, there are problems that are attached to his view of the world, to the nature of the choices he'd make. At the same time, the nation is unsecured, the border is open. We know that without a secure nation, conservatism doesn't matter. How much progress can we make? I think Ted Cruz, of course, has some great answers to that as well. But clearly, Mr. Trump has hit a chord. But I think that at this point, as we get serious, as we get closer to November, what is it? We're close to April 1st?
Exactly.
This is going to happen in the blink of an eye.
We were talking earlier, Dana and I, and it's not necessarily just about his position on issues, but the recklessness of him just spewing out things without, I mean, nuking Europe.
So I look, stylistically, people are used to, with reality television, we're used to people being maybe more aggressive, being not politically correct. They're mistaking sometimes being reckless for being not politically correct. And I do think that we do realize as we see other candidates, well, like Ted Cruz a bit more, that you can be, and like President Reagan, you can have some dignity. You can have a view of the future. You can be an iconoclast and also be a decent person who doesn't embarrass you. And I think that that's what most Americans want, but they also know this is our chance to get it right, and we don't have time to make a mistake.
That's true, yeah.
No, I was just going to say, Sam Clovis has been a frequent guest on this program, and this is Sam's response to this. He's the national co-chair and one of the policy advisors
of the Trump campaign.
He said it's more of a statement of a possible issue as opposed to a declaration of policy. Trump lays a lot of things on the table for discussion as opposed to having a definitive position, and his supporters know that, and even people who might be on the fence know that about it.
And that's what is, in a lot of ways, interestingly, is refreshing about what it brings up in the conversation. People do appreciate that because we see this collegiality where nothing's really discussed and where people get away with so much. This actually makes everybody go, wait a minute, and then you have that conversation. That's incredibly valuable. So this is where my being agnostic still fits in. But of course, if the election were today, I would be voting for Mr. Cruz.
You know, agnosticism's fine, but this is almost like a foreign policy smorgasbord we have here. It's like a buffet. Oh, what do you want? Okay, you want to deport these people? Okay, that's over here. Take a plate of that. And then over here we have this mutually assured destruction gig from 1965, like Thomas Schelling, game theory, which is what came up yesterday in this nuclear thing. Blows my mind. 1965 called. They want their foreign policy back. So, let's get some clarity here.
But something has to happen that's different, and that's what the American people are looking for.
By the way, do you think Carly Fiorina is going to be Ted Cruz's running mate?
Look, I think it would be terrific. I think she would be wonderful on that ticket. I think, though, that, well, he has the experience in Washington. She could necessarily bring California. He'd be very good. It would be a nice balance, and I think with if it is Hillary Clinton, if she's not indicted, it would be a good balance.
Let me ask you about Hillary Clinton, because the FBI finally completing its examination of Clinton's emails. New reports this morning that the FBI, along with the Justice Department, prosecutors will soon conduct interviews with Hillary Clinton and key State Department officials to determine whether to file criminal charges against the former Secretary of State. We discussed this last week when I was reporting that agents were telling me that the time is now, that they are going to be interviewing Hillary Clinton. And she could either say, yeah, I'm going to do the interview, or no, I don't want to incriminate myself, given the election.
She's approached this from the beginning as that this is no problem. So she feels that there is nothing to incriminate herself about. She will talk to them. She has gotten away, and both the Clintons have, with so much for so long. I think that they believe they'll get away with this. 147 agents looking at an entire spectrum of issues. The fact that there will be interviews tells you that there's an issue. Also, we are hearing internally that there are many FBI agents, if there is not at least something that is put forward against this team in some fashion, that there will be people inside that will be upset and will be speaking publicly against it. So even if she's not indicted, this won't stop. There will be people who will complain about that, and there'll be major issues within the FBI and certain individuals who will say so.
It's going to get out one way or another. If there's no indictment, that could even be worse for her campaign, because you could have people quit the FBI. You have quit the Justice Department and then come out either directly or through leaks, expose what's going on.
Yeah, said that, in fact, the bar should be different for people running for president, that it should be lower because, you know, then you're always going to be attacked. In fact, maybe it should be a little higher. We want to give these people all the power in the world. Shouldn't we expect them to take, look, it's the rule of law, it's not the suggestion of law. And this is the thing that makes people question the nature of politicians in our government, that if it's not for them, but it's only for us, how can we trust you? And then that's what brings in a Donald Trump into our environment.
Exactly. But by the way, we might learn a lot of new information because they are interviewing all of her aides. And we'll see if some of them or any of them take immunity the way Pagliano did.
That's the risk for her with so many people. And then suddenly it's like, well, we're not immune. What does this mean for my life? Hillary Clinton is at the point where, and as is Mr. Trump, where maybe they're done and they're bored and they want to get the ultimate prize. Many of these people are young. The rest of their lives are in front of them. Are you really going to go into the volcano for Bill and Hillary?
I don't think they are.
That's the question.
If they chuck you into it, you will.
Well, they're past being able to chuck. 2008 changed that.
Somebody's got to...
And now it's loyalty. Loyalty is important, but we'll see how far that goes.
Yeah, for sure. Tammy, great to talk with you. Thanks so much. Tammy Bruce.